Hi, I'm Jessica Lahr, and welcome to another edition of FLX Weekly here on Wednesday, July 5th, 2017. We are live inside the FingerLakes1.com studio on the top floor of the North Park building in Seneca Falls. I'm joined by Jim Sinacropi and Josh Durso. How are you? How was your 4th of July?
What a busy week.
Yes.
Yeah, and I tell you, it's just a great reminder that we don't have to deal with, the King of England anymore up our business, in our business,
That was the real win.
Yeah.
This last weekend, a reminder of that.
That's right. Did you have a nice weekend?
The weather was, outside of Saturday, the weather was like ideal.
Yep.
It was not too hot, not too cold. It was just right, not too humid.
Just perfect.
Saturday was a ton of rain, though. We got so much.
Oh, I know.
A ton of rain.
You were on the golf course.
Yeah.
You had a tournament.
On the golf course, I'll use that phrase loosely. We were on and off, and it didn't. We wound up getting rained out. A ton of rain. Ton of rain. Oh yeah. There was no way that was happening.
You had to have, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Literally buckets of rain. Buckets of rain. It's the only way I can describe it.
And Keuka County got devastated.
That was one of our big news stories this past weekend. Was just how much rain they got. I mean, mudslides. Enough for mudslides.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scary. But you had a nice time. Did you celebrate? Did you see fireworks? Did you barbecue?
I didn't see any fireworks.
I saw random fireworks, but I didn't go to a display. This weekend is fireworks in Seneca Falls.
Yeah.
Saturday night. But I don't know. It's pretty sweet. You come back to work and it's Wednesday. Already.
I know. Short week ahead.
Yep.
So we're here to preview the weekend ahead, which the weekend before just ended. So it's kind of it's good stuff, though. Good stuff.
It is.
We're in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
It's like an 8-day-long weekend.
It is.
Literally.
It felt like, okay, I probably should start working now. I should probably get back to work. Well, what does this weekend's weather look like for us, Jim?
Well, it's another great weekend. Friday, there actually a little rain Thursday and Friday. 60% chance of showers on Friday. Mostly cloudy, high near 83. And then the showers will taper off on Friday night around 8 o'clock. And then it'll be mostly cloudy overnight with a low of 63, so fairly comfortable. And then Saturday, just a small chance of a morning shower. And then mostly sunny, high of 74.
Perfect.
Saturday night, mostly clear, low around 56, so very comfortable. And then sunny on Sunday with a high near 78. And then heating up a little bit into next week, but no heat waves or anything. I think Monday's high right now is showing 80 degrees.
Yeah.
So, it is an ideal weekend ahead again here for us in the beautiful Finger Lakes. And
I'm not. You say ideal. 74 degrees for me in the beginning of July as a high is not ideal.
Really?
It's not in my book.
Oh, that's my happy spot.
Give me 80, 85. This is we don't have enough warm weather here in upstate New York to.
I know.
Well, 74 is warm. It's perfectly warm.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's
but
like
in
the winter. If when you're at home at winter, you don't set the heat to 85.
Right.
No, of course not. No.
But it is for some folks that really like to swim or spend some pool time. It's a little cool for that, but put a solar cover on there and get the water warm if you want.
Yeah.
But to me, it's perfect for just about anything you want to do.
If it's sunny, it feels warmer than 74. So
there's no doubt about that if you're in the sun. But yeah, another great weekend on tap, and we deserve it.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it, and there are quite a few weekend events, so I'm just going to jump into them because there's a lot going on. Canalfest is this Friday through Sunday in Seneca Falls. It's a 3-day celebration on both sides of the Seneca Falls Canal Harbor, offering amusement rides, craft beverages, food, and arts and craft vendors, live music with the Women's Right to Rock at the bandstand at People's Park, and fireworks at dusk over Van Cleef Lake, the Aquacade Watercraft Parade, Corning Museum of Glass's Glass Barge community stage with demonstrations, performances, and presentations, petting zoo, duck race, and much, much more.
This is a good event. This Canalfest is a big event, and you mentioned the Women's Right to Rock at the bandstand all weekend long. There'll be live music with female bands or women fronting bands. And the Corning Museum of Glass Barge is really a big part of this. It's worth checking out.
Yeah. That's
and there's also, last week I interviewed Lloyd J. Schwartz.
Yes. So cool.
He is premiering a new one-woman play about Dr. Mary Walker, who is the only woman to ever receive the Congressional Medal of Honor for her service in the Civil War. It's entitled Independence. And for those of you who don't know, Lloyd J. Schwartz, maybe you recognize the name Sherwood Schwartz. He was the producer of the Brady Bunch and a bunch of other, lot of shows. And his son, Lloyd, worked with him on all those shows. He was a writer and eventually a co-producer. And he just has such an extensive background working on shows like The A-Team. A lot of shows that I watched growing up. So
Gilligan's Island.
Yeah, that was another one. He named a bunch of them off.
Yeah.
What's Happening? I don't know if you guys remember that one, but that was with Rerun and some of them. Anyways, it was interesting talking to him, and that play that he wrote will be premiering here multiple times in Seneca Falls. And I think the best thing to do for Canalfest is to go to their Facebook page for the latest information on the schedule.
Tomorrow, I'll be having the organizers in studio for Inside the FLX.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Of Canalfest. So we'll hopefully get a full rundown also there.
Perfect.
Who's coming, do you know?
Dennis Scanlon, I believe, Ann Sandroni.
Oh, wow. Okay, great.
2
o'clock?
2 o'clock.
Perfect.
Nice. Perfect. Well, that'll be fun. I want to go see that play.
Fireworks.
Happy Days was another one.
Oh, yeah, well.
That he wrote for.
Yeah. I watched them all. I loved it. That was the golden age of the sitcom.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, fireworks also at dusk, which are some of the best in the area, and they launch them right out over Van Cleef Lake, and you can see them from all over town. It's pretty cool. I'm excited for Canalfest weekend.
They're ones you don't necessarily have to go directly to see. You can kind of pick your place and see it without necessarily a huge crowd on top of that.
Yes, that's nice. All right. Other things going on. The 49th Annual Cornhill Arts Festival is Saturday and Sunday in Rochester with more than 375 juried artists, 4 stages of live music, the 8th Annual Emerging Arts Expo, 2 beer and wine gardens, delicious food and beverage, and activities for all ages, including the 5th Annual, get this, Fairy House Tour. I think I need to go.
That's interesting.
Yes, admission is free and things get underway at 10 a.m. each day. More info is online at cornhillartsfestival.com. I've never gone, but I've heard amazing things about the Cornhill Arts Festival.
Yeah, I mean, right off the heels of Jazz Fest in Rochester, and now this one, it's one along with the Lilac Fest, are probably their 3 biggest events in Rochester. So definitely worth a trip. Definitely worth a trip.
Sounds like it. All right, the oldest outdoor art show in the Finger Lakes returns on Saturday and Sunday for the 51st annual Keuka Lake Art Show in the Village Square in Hammondsport, and features fine art by local artists in the mediums of watercolor, oil and acrylics, drawing and graphics, pottery, jewelry, sculpture, and photography. Local high school and college students also exhibit their work to go along with live music both days.
Wonder why they go the same weekend as Cornhill for that one.
That's what I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
But hey, you don't need an excuse to go to Hammondsport this time of year. It's unbelievable down there. It's so beautiful. America's coolest small town.
Yeah.
And right there at the tip of the lake. I mean, their downtown is like right connected to it. It's I really like Hammondsport.
Yeah.
But I'll probably be in Seneca Falls for the Canalfest.
Yeah. But that's neat. I'm sure that's a nice festival there. Also, John Mellencamp will be at CMAC on Saturday night.
What's your favorite John Mellencamp song? Anybody have one?
Oh, don't put me on the spot. I never know names of songs.
Well, there's like
old
ones like Hurt So Good and Jack and Diane, or Small Town.
Oh, yeah. Jack and Diane's a good
Pink
one.
Houses, ROCK in the USA.
Jack and Diane's a good one.
I'd probably have to. I like Hurt So Good, though, but those are old. That was when he was John Cougar.
Yeah.
And then he was John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh.
Now he's just John Mellencamp.
I didn't know that.
But yeah.
Name changes are okay.
Well, he's always kept the John, so.
Yeah.
So there's that.
That's the next evolution. It'll just be John.
John.
Just John. All right, the Wood Library 5K Fun Run and Story Walk in Canandaigua is on Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Trey Levin's third annual Kings of Summer Festival is from 1 to 10 p.m. on Saturday in Kings Ferry. Another Geneva night out on Friday night in downtown Geneva, which is always great.
They looking to change that?
Yes.
They're making changes to the Geneva night
some
out.
Changes
but
to
not for this one. This one will probably be the same.
No, this one will still follow the usual
What
format.
kind of changes were they talking about?
They were, the city sent out a press release, and it didn't sound like they were totally set on any particular methodology. They were going to kind of go back to the drawing board with it and kind of re-envision the whole thing. So I don't know if there's particular... I'm going to assume that... how long have they been doing this? A couple of years?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I'm assuming that they have some that have been really successful and then others that haven't, and they're probably going to try to replicate what has worked really well.
Yes.
Essentially, though, you just go to Geneva.
Yeah.
And
it's awesome.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on.
Right.
No planning, you can literally
make
just show
reservations
up
for
bang.
dinner somewhere if you want.
Right.
Yeah.
But then just kind of fly by the seat of your pants and see where you want to go. All right, Nashville hitmaker Jared Neiman will be at the Vine inside Del Lago Casino on Friday night at 8 p.m. And the 58th annual St. Peter's Antique Show is on Saturday in Bloomfield. So...
no shortage of events this time of year, right?
Absolutely not. We're ready for it. Bring them on.
That's right.
Well, what do we have going on in the news, Josh?
So, like we were talking about, start the show off, the rain that came through on Saturday was probably the repeated rounds of rain and storms were probably the biggest story of the entire weekend. Keuka County was particularly hard hit. Tons of flooding. We have a really interesting story with a lot of photos and video captured from social media that people were sharing. Auburn, Aurelius, Moravia, Owasco were the hardest hit. Main Street in Auburn Genesee Street was partially flooded out. South Street, same thing. Really, really interesting to see. There was even a mudslide in Moravia, which if you imagine how much rain has to fall in such a short amount of time to have a mudslide happen. Come on.
That's crazy.
There was a state of emergency. I'm not sure if it's been lifted yet, but it had been going 3 days strong in Moravia, who was the hardest hit. Out of those, by far, the hardest hit.
Yeah.
There was also an interesting look, speaking of flooding, obviously the flooding along Lake Ontario hasn't stopped. We have an interesting story about how businesses are continuing to struggle along Lake Ontario, even as the water starts to recede a little bit. Doesn't matter, still way above normal, still pretty much making it difficult or impossible to do a lot of the things that people this time of year want to do in places like Sodas Point and places like that. Businesses are open. So they're functioning, but unfortunately, you're not seeing the customers that you'd normally see during this time of year. So they're losing money.
Right.
And it's just it's a shame. The latest numbers that I've seen show that it won't fully recede until possibly December. So you talk about this entire season being a wash, then you start to walk into the possibility of maybe some of these businesses that operate on a really tight budget every year may not be there next year.
Yeah.
So one of those things where if you can get out and try to, support some of those businesses and visit them and still visit these places, because they're still awesome places to go, even though you can't get out on the beaches or you can't get out on the water in the traditional way. Still really great places to go.
Yeah, go out and support.
Another interesting story talking about New York's bald eagle population. It's obviously, right now it's actually, I believe, a 23 or 24-year high as far as what our population is.
That's what I was going to say is I see them all over the place now. It used to be rare.
But now they're saying that a study that's been conducted for 22 years by the New York State Wildlife Health Program revealed that a significant percentage of the population of bald eagles in New York State have lead exposure. They tested positive for lead exposure.
Oh boy.
Now, they don't necessarily know what that will mean in the short term, but in the long term, it could mean that once again you deal with an issue where the population starts to decline and they have to go through some extra efforts to bolster it back up again. Kind of an interesting look because it's something out of sight, out of mind. A lot of people aren't really thinking about. And then also there's a really cool look inside Thompson Health's new observation unit. So the hospital in Canandaigua.
Yeah.
It features a space for those who need care but don't necessarily need to be admitted into the hospital. Something that when you go to an emergency room, you just kind of assume that they have the space to handle.
Right.
Like you break an arm or something, you don't need to be admitted into the actual hospital, but
itself,
you need space to care for those individuals.
Mm-hmm.
28,000 cases per year is what that hospital sees. It averages out to like 75 patients or incidents a day, which means that these extra spaces that they've built out are really necessary. So that's and of course there's a lot more on FingerLakes1.com, some really interesting stories, developing stories about some of the accidents and some of the boating advisories and issues that were present over this past weekend, of course.
Well, yesterday was a big news day for us on July 4th. We published we published more than a handful of news stories, and they really got some good viewership for a holiday. Most people on their phones. I think people, holiday or not, they're pulling us up on the phone and on the app and
Tap the app.
taking a look at the latest news, and we're the only ones yesterday.
Yeah, it's a tough, and I mean, of course, we're a little more mobile friendly than a lot of the competition in the area, so it's one of those things where we have the opportunity, and we treat it like any other day of the year, where we're updating the website 4 or 5 times a day as news happens, and that makes a difference.
Yeah, well, like I said, we're the only ones. So even if other sources were mobile friendly, you'd see the same thing you saw Monday.
Yeah, right.
So good job. Good job with the news this weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah. You were still working. Unlike
Always.
me, I unplugged.
Always working.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you for that. Let's take a look at our top local photos this week. We don't have as many.
A little light this week on photos, but
especially compared to last week. We had quite a
holiday
few.
weekend. I'm going to assume that next week we'll see a ton, because a lot of people are going to get everything unpacked, unloaded, uploaded, and then start sending them in.
Yes.
So
I'm sure quite
stay
a
tuned.
few. Yep, a lot of firework photos, I'm sure. All right, well, let's start off with this photo by Ann Kaminsky of a fully restored Ford Model T seen parked outside the Gould Hotel in downtown Seneca Falls last Wednesday afternoon.
I dig it.
Love that.
it's not just for show. It's a road piece that's got the license plate on it. They drives on the road.
Yeah.
I don't know if you take that on the throughway or not, but
Yikes, that might be a little scary. Down 5 and 20, I'm sure. Also from Ann, this close-up of the bald eagle sculpture at Montezuma National Wildlife Refuge that overlooks the New York State Thruway.
Are you sure they weren't testing that particular eagle for lead? Because I think the lead content of that eagle is
probably a little high. Yeah,
but that's. I love that they put it overlooking the Thruway. You know how many people see that every day?
Oh yeah,
tens of thousands.
Yeah. And that's intense. I've seen a lot of pictures. I haven't seen one like that of it.
That's good, because it's like the first time we've really gotten a super up-close look at it. A lot of people stand back and take like the distance shot, but that's
because it is so massive. Yeah. That's his headshot.
The detail. I mean, that really shows off the actual detail of the sculpture itself.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
It is
impressive.
impressive.
Ann Kaminsky. Good job.
From Shelley Lannon, these twin fawns were being taught how to cross the road early Sunday morning in Phelps.
I don't think they were paying much attention on the road. It looks like they were looking directly at Shelley.
That is so cute. Oh my gosh. Adorable shot. Wow.
That is nice.
The timing that requires
I know.
is incredible.
What do you think? She shoots
whistling?
20 real quick, rapid fire?
Oh, yeah.
Like, look here.
Her Facebook is evidence of that.
So cute. Kim Casanta sent us this shot of her dog Murphy celebrating the 4th of July holiday on a boat along the northeastern shore of Seneca Lake. That's cute.
Now, this is one of those pictures that's taller.
Yeah, you can see the whole flag.
You can see the whole flag. But when I saw this picture, I thought to myself, wow, this is one of the most American pictures I've ever seen in my life. A dog, a boat, a lake, and a flag.
And the American flag. I love it. So cute.
That dog had a good day.
Yep. I'm sure he got some swimming in, too. All right. Finally, from Karen Bartow, the robin has been building her nest just outside Karen's kitchen window. She's finally finished on Sunday and is seen here resting in the nest. Oh. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that is kind of cool.
It's a really interesting photo.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Well, what is your favorite?
Well, geez, there's not that much to choose from this week, and I think that it'll be unanimous, but I'll let you guys go first. I think I know which one I'm picking.
I had to choose Shelley's photo of the deer.
Yep,
I think
too.
that was just the cream of the crop this week.
Yeah, I agree. That's why. That's our photo of the week right there.
Excellent.
What did we
Good
have?
job,
5
Shelley.
photos this week was all?
Yeah, only 5
Last
photos.
week we had like 16, 17.
Yes.
Come
we had
on,
quite a
folks. I know
few.
you're busy picnicking and doing what you do in the summer, but
Well,
send
you
them
know-
in. Send them in.
You know who took the week off? Rachel Burkholder took the week off, and now we're 2 or 3 photos.
No Mike Sargent this week.
No Mike Sargent.
Mike.
Yeah, there were a lot of them.
That's true.
No Nancy L. Wright.
Yep. Yep.
I mean, there were a few that are usually heavy hitters
Aw.
here.
The other thing to remember too is that you can send us these photos right from your phone.
Yep.
Snap it on your phone, send it to contact@fingerlakes1.com, peck out a little caption, let us know your name,
Yeah.
and shoot it off to us, and you'll
Yep.
see it on the show. And you'll see it posted in our gallery on our site, and maybe pushed out to social tour.
I was going to say they
Thousands
they
and
could
thousands
even
of
share them directly
followers.
to us on Facebook or Instagram if they so
Or
chose.
Twitter.
Or Twitter for that matter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
I know. We missed you guys this week.
Yeah, it's not as much fun with only 5 photos, but we have more
They were
time
so
to kill.
great. They were still great. Thank you guys so much for sending them in. If you would like to share your local photos, you heard what Jim just said, or you can go to our homepage and click on the link in the Submit Content section at the bottom right-hand side of our homepage at fingerlakes1.com. Jim, what is going on in sports?
Well, it's getting to be, the Major League All-Star break is coming up, which is
Yep.
the deadest time in the world of sports. Like, it's the only week where
Nothing is
stretch of
happening.
3-4 days where absolutely nothing is happening. But there is some baseball this week. The Yankees are not in first place anymore. And they're going to be at Fenway for 4 games against the Red Sox, starting Friday night at 7:10, Saturday at 4:05, and then a doubleheader Sunday. Spread out, though, 1:05 p.m. and 8:08 p.m., the 2 games there.
Wow.
So Yankees, Red Sox this weekend. The Mets host the Colorado Rockies Friday at 7:10, Saturday at 7:10, and Sunday for an afternoon tilt at 1:10. The Newark Pilots struggling this year. At Onondaga on Friday at 7 p.m. and then home at Colburn Park versus Jamestown on Saturday night, 7:50, and Sunday versus Elmira. The Pioneers are a big rival with the Pilots, 5:05 p.m. there. The Geneva Red Wings, though, are having a great season. And they'll be
nice.
at Elmira on Friday, home at McDonough Park in Geneva versus Syracuse on Saturday, and then travel to Syracuse on Sunday. The PGA Tour is at the Greenbrier Classic in West Virginia. Last year, it was totally washed out due to rain and flooding that hardly ever happens. So they'll be back in full force, and I'm sure all the local charities in that West Virginia area that tournament supports, so we'll be glad to have them back. And I'll be playing in the Dutch Hollow 2-man on Saturday and Sunday in Owasco at Dutch Hollow Country Club. And our golf course, I don't know what they call it, but it's a long-running tournament. I played it for the first time when I was 16 years old, and that's one of the
Really?
better 2-day tournaments around. It's the only 2-day tournament I play in anymore, because 2 days at a golf tournament's a lot to ask.
So have you missed one since 16, or have you gone ever since you turned 16?
This will be the 29th straight.
Whoa! That's
I
impressive.
haven't missed weddings for it, but I've shown up late to weddings for it more than once or
geez.
twice. Yeah, they should name something after me over there. I'll get it.
That's all right. You should win an award for that.
Yeah, the first year we could drive there, we got in, and I was 16, and I haven't missed
Wow.
one since. This will be the 29th straight Dutch Hollow 2-man in
Wow.
Owasco.
It's impressive.
It's a
I
great
know.
tournament. It's my favorite. It's only one. I used to play in 5 or 6 2-man tournaments over the course of the summer. 2-day tournaments, I should say.
Yep.
Wow.
But like everything else, it's a big commitment. So
Yeah.
I just got this one.
Yeah.
So that's it for sports, but we'll have all the results of those baseball games and everything else that should come up, including Syracuse just signed a new recruit, 4-star recruit. Can't remember the name off the top of my head, but yeah, so we'll have that kind of stuff there too.
Okay.
at the sports page. So,
Good.
yep.
Well, I would like to, on behalf of FingerLakes1.com, wish you a very happy birthday this weekend.
Yes.
What day is your birthday?
Saturday.
And how old are you?
I will be 27.
Now, I've played at Dutch Hollow longer than you've
More
been
years than
alive.
I've been alive. Yeah.
Wow.
That should only
That's
make you
funny.
feel old.
Well, you have a demeanor of a much older man.
Yes, he does.
You know, he carries himself as and
I'm an old man.
yeah, he's got the demeanor of a 65-year-old.
Okay, since we're gonna do this, let me just say that Jess got me my Vice for my birthday. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're
Chips
so welcome.
ahoy.
I
Chips
usually will
ahoy.
make something homemade, but
Oh, but nothing beats those wonderful Nabisco cookies.
yeah.
Nothing at
I
all.
love Chips Ahoy. Not the new chewy ones they developed.
No,
Those got to be the
Really?
original Chips
You
Ahoy.
have
So
to
are
go the
those
original.
crunchy?
Oh
Yes.
yeah. You never had a Chips Ahoy cookie?
I bake, so I never really buy cookies unless it's like an Oreo. But I
Yeah.
asked Concetta, what does Josh like? And she said the Chips Ahoy blue package,
Of course,
the
it's
original.
always the blue package.
But they're crunchy. Like, I like a chewy
Oh
chocolate
yeah, you
chip
get a little
cookie.
milk though in there.
Yeah, but
forget about it.
Oh my God.
The another thing I used to do that I don't do anymore, although I'd like to, is I used to get like a big bowl of Frosted Flakes cereal and then take like 6 to 8 Chips Ahoy cookies and crumble them up over the
Stop.
top,
Wow.
and then put
Wow.
milk on that and eat it like cereal. That's just a little food tip if you don't care about your calorie intake or sugar.
Yeah.
But I used to do that all the time back when I could eat anything I wanted.
How did
That's
that
incredible.
come? How did you even think of such a combination?
I don't know. I was creative.
Well, you've seen the what do you call? I can't think of what they're called, but they have the cookie crisp.
Yes.
Is that
Cookie
what it's
crisp, yeah, but that's
Cookie
not the
Crisp?
They're
same.
not good
I
though.
mean,
They
no,
don't-
they're not. But it's the same kind. It's cookies in
concept?
form of cereal. Come on.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a phenomenal way to eat Chips Ahoy. So
Oh my gosh. Well, that would be a dessert.
Yeah.
Breakfast for dessert. Or
yeah, I would
breakfast
eat
and
it
dessert.
That
Any-
doesn't sound like
anytime.
something I'd want to start the day off with, though. Honestly,
No.
cookies over my sugary cereal.
I don't think it
No.
was something I started the day off with. I think it was like maybe at 10:30 at night or whatever.
Right, the
Traditionally
midnight
do it.
snack.
Yeah, and I would also, you could take there's 2 sleeves in that Chips Ahoy box, and I would take one and open it up with a giant glass of milk, and before you know it, the whole thing was gone, which is like a good 15 to 16 cookies.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how things change as you get older.
I
though.
can't believe you never had a Chips Ahoy cookie.
Well, I have, but it's been so long, and I don't buy them. Like I said, I bake. I
Yep.
make and bake.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, enjoy your birthday. I think that about wraps it up for us, doesn't it, Jim? How are we doing on time?
We got about 60 seconds, so about 20 seconds to get out of here. But yeah, happy birthday, Josh. And really, Canalfest, come to Seneca Falls
Seriously.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Fireworks on Saturday night are some of the best around. And also, if you'd prefer, go to Hammondsport. I can't recommend enough how great that town is this time of
know.
year. So a lot of whatever you're doing, get out there, do something,
Yes.
enjoy
Go
it.
out,
Do
enjoy
something.
the
Enjoy it.
weather while we have it, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to drop us a line, send an email to contact@fingerlakes1.com. If you enjoy the show, click like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and share with your friends. We'll be back next Wednesday live at 12:30, and that about wraps it up.
That's it.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
See ya.